So let's first just brainstorm some of the emotions you have that you would like to kind of look at, either difficult ones or positive ones, or both.
Look,
Both.
I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. I wanted to work with a positive one, especially because it's the end of a long day, and
Yes.
and because I've been up since 4 a.m. I don't want to cry. Um, I would like to actually explore playfulness, because this kind of environment allows playfulness for me. But I feel like in my normal life, the playfulness has disappeared a bit, and it is a natural state. And so that's why I've enjoyed this so much, being here in this more playful environment. It's reminded me of that. So when you said it could be a positive emotion, just playfulness just jumped into my head.
Great.
And it didn't hurt that we just did the most playful, hilarious visualization. My partner was so funny. We ended up in a treehouse with the Swiss Family Robinson above us, and someone had put this 1956 wine there, and it was the best. And our horses ran off. So I just got right into playful ridiculousness.
Okay, so you're already in the mood. You've already kind of brought that atmosphere in. That's great. And in what parts of your life will playfulness help you?
I honestly think it helps you in every part of life, because I think it helps you access joy. So, so I can get really non-playful in my relationship with self.
Okay.
So I have my own business. I have to be my own disciplinarian. And sometimes I just make myself go through the motions of doing the daily mode of operation that I know that I should. And I really believe in law of attraction. So I think if you've got playful, joyful energy, you attract more of that. And yeah, I think, and I believe that lightness is a better state of being, and there's been so much heaviness in the world and in this year, and for me also last year. So it's been like 2 years of just, kicking the playfulness out of me, actually. So I'm ready to be playful.
Great. So now I'm going to put my coaching hat on a moment and just talk to the group a second about like why I asked that and what we're doing. So in a sense, we're clarifying the reason why playfulness is important and what it will do. And then I write down actually everything the client just told me. So it's important in every part of life. It helps to access joy. And maybe she said another emotion. It in terms of the parts of her life, she mentioned relationship with self. She runs her own business. She needs to make herself do things daily, believes in law of attraction. Lightness is a better state of being. Just so you get a sense that I'm writing down all those words the client has spoken, because I want to know her language as we go into this. It might be helpful, it might not be, but just so you know from the coach's point of view. Okay, now back. Now, okay, all right. And do you think there's any, so you think it'll help every part of your life. Is there any time that it's a little harder for you to find playfulness? Could be time of day, it could be when working, it could be when romantic, it could be any particular thing.
Yeah, actually, that it already came up. As soon as you said it, I thought, oh my God, sex, I'm not going to talk about that. And yeah. So yeah, it would help to feel more playful, access that playful energy.
Okay, great. So it's good that showed up and that you acknowledge that. That's important. Okay, so now we're going to move into the creative part of the strategy, and I'm going to guide you through creating a character that is playfulness.
Mhm.
And this could be a man or a woman. It could be, I mean, it could even be a non-person if you wanted. And it can be any age. So what comes to mind? And it's different than you. That's what's really important to stress here as the coach, everybody, is that this character is not the client. It's different. We're just going to get to know playfulness. The reason it's called Coaching 360 is we're going to walk all the way around playfulness.
Mm. It's the funniest thing. It's allowed to be an animal that you know, like if a
Sure, let's start with an animal. It can change into, usually I say if we can, let's make it a person.
Okay, no, all right. But the person that came up was a young girl, probably about 12 or 13, and 12 or 13, and curly red hair and a real bounce in her step, like a long, skinny kind of drink of water, with all of this amazing red hair.
Great. I'm just writing all that down. That's awesome. So, do you imagine that she has any friends?
Yes, yeah. She has lots of friends, but she's also really lives in a bit of an imaginary world.
Great. And who are her imaginary world people?
So, she's friends with nature. She's friends with the trees. She's friends with flowers, with bees, with dogs, with everything.
And can you kind of imagine her there in nature, like are imagining nature? And how do you imagine? Do you feel it or see it or?
I see it. And I see her just skipping around, being a bit of a daydreamer, getting distracted on her path. And she's pretty charming.
Great. So imagine her now, like it's the weekend and her parents have given her permission to go into, I don't know if she lives in a city or a town or a suburb. What do you see?
She lives in a city, but she's got good access to nature. She must
Okay. So where would she go on the weekend when she has permission to go anywhere? And would she bring a friend along?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Where would she go? You can choose where she goes.
Yeah. Oh, she'd probably go to the beach and get an ice cream, I think.
Okay, beach and get an ice cream. And who is the friend with her?
Freckly faced girl with dark hair.
Okay. Freckly faced girl. I like that. So let's just imagine them there getting an ice cream at the beach. And what happens next?
They take off their shoes and socks and they splash about, like walk along, kicking the water and laughing and not even really noticing everybody else around. They're just in their own little world.
Oh, that's awesome. And if you could make the story now suddenly like magical realism and something quite magical happens, what would happen?
Oh, a big white horse would run out of the waves and they'd jump on its back, both of them together, and they'd be giggling. And the horse would be part unicorn, part horse. So really magical.
Wow. Wow. And would they direct it to take them somewhere or?
I think that it would just take them to fun places. So it's like a magical mystery tour. They're not scared. So suddenly the horse is like airborne and taking them over all the buildings and things to a park where there's a merry-go-round and a carnival.
Wow. And what could you call this horse that helps playfulness and shows her all of this?
It might not be very original, but Pegasus came to mind.
Pegasus. Okay, so it flies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Pegasus. And what would you call her friend? Is her friend the personification of another emotion or trait?
Oh, her friend is she's like a collaborator, encouraging her. So she's her partner in crime.
Okay. And what are the encouraging words that she hears, that playfulness hears?
It's just her friend really admires her and loves her daringness and is willing to do it all, but the little redhead is the leader.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
Loves her daringness. I love that. So this is your story about playfulness. So you have control here. Do you want to see her grow up a little, or do you want to see her learn something or try something new? What do you want for her?
Oh, I'd love to see her grow up and to keep that playfulness as she grows into, she doesn't have to grow up too much, maybe into her 20s.
Oh, great. So let's imagine her there in her 20s. What age?
25.
25. And what is she doing at 25?
She is now a bit of a city chick. She still dresses a bit playfully, but she's got a good handle on fashion. And she's kind of tall and skinny, and just discovering the world. She just loves everything that she discovers. She loves working. She loves taking the tram to work. She loves the lunch hour. She loves drinks after work. She loves every single thing about being in her 20s.
That's great. And what could happen in her 20s that will just really help her get to that next level of her own maturity and playfulness and kind of that daring part of her in the healthiest way? What do you see? Could there be a job opportunity or a new friend or a love interest?
I think that she could fall in love.
Okay.
A lovely boyfriend and get a promotion at work. So starts to feel a bit of power.
Tell me about how she feels power.
Well, she realizes that not everybody's got the playfulness and the energy that she has, and starts to get rewarded for having that.
Great. And what does she do in her 20s on the weekend to relax?
Oh, sometimes, well, today's a big day in Australia with horse racing, and she likes horses. So she goes to the races.
She goes to the races. Okay.
Yeah. Gets all dressed
Awesome.
up.
And let's, okay, I'm going to be like the director here a little bit now. So she's at the horse races and you're there too.
Mm-hmm.
And you start talking. I don't know where you might talk at the horse races. Like, would you be in the same box or?
The champagne bar.
The champagne bar. Okay. And you realize you actually know each other. I don't know how you know each other, but you do.
Yeah.
And she pulls you aside and just whispers something really important in your ear, something that really helps you always feel that sense of playfulness in you.
I know.
What might it be?
Yeah, I know. She says, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Oh, that's great.
I know.
That's great. And what do you say to her?
Oh, I just think I just give her a great big hug.
Okay, great, great. And
yeah,
if there was any wisdom you could offer her, what would it be as she grows up now?
It'd be, don't second guess yourself. You don't need to doubt yourself. Remember who you are, and remember the young girl on the horse with wings.
Great. Okay. Is there anything you want her to kind of last moment with her? Is there anything you want her to do after the horse race or?
I hope she backs a winner and gets loads of money.
Okay, good. Let's imagine that loads of money. That's good. Okay, that was super fun.
Thank you.
You're great. You're great at this storytelling. So I'm just looking at the notes here, so I'm not just winging it. So tell me what it felt like, Marie, to like have her say that to you and have you hug her?
Well, I admired her so much that when she said that to me, I realized she admired me. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And surprising.
Yeah. How would you like to keep empowering her within you and in your life and bringing that? She wanted you to remember the horse. And and you wanted her to not second guess herself. Oh, you wanted her to remember the horse. That's what happened.
Yeah. But I just got confused when you said it and agreed with you anyway, because it felt like, it felt right. How would I like to remember her energy in my life?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah.
It would be connecting with nature and connecting with horses where possible as well.
Oh, right. I remember we talked about horses.
At the very start, the very first.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd want to put in the bedroom to remind you?
Yeah, maybe a picture or an artifact of a horse.
Okay. And you were so clear about her like bouncy step. And I just wonder if you can like even now recall what it's like to be in that lightness. And if it feels like lightness, or what does it feel like? Is it joy? Is it?
It's actually bounciness.
It's bounciness. Okay, great. So just being able to recall that. I don't know if that's helpful to you. Some people are more visual. Some people are, there's different ways, but I got such a sense of the movement as you talked.
Yes. I connect with it when I take my dog for a walk. And if I take her with my partner, she gets so excited that we're both there, like the whole pack's together. Even though she's older, she just acts like a puppy does, mental puppy running, crazy puppy running between us to say, yoo-hoo, you're both here. So when I see that, I always feel childlike because I see the energy in the dog.
Oh, that's great.
And I feel every day.
That's great. Yeah. And, you may want to go back during the week, I don't know, to visit with her again and imagine her at different ages and stages and just to like let that story evolve a little bit more. Can be fun. That's one option. But does anything kind of come to you that you'd like to do to keep empowering this quality of playfulness, even in the imagination through creativity? Like just like it's awesome to do it with the dog. It's awesome to have the picture in the room. Those things are great. But if anything else came to you, I want to make sure we write it down.
It might be doing a little bit of journaling and allowing her to speak.
Great. Yeah, that's great. And that's something, by the way, for everybody, that's a great homework that you can give a client after this session to do just that, just what Marie said, to invite journaling with her and allowing her to speak.
Because I feel like she's got plenty to say. I just don't know what it is yet.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so fun to do a positive emotion. So, but even if it was a negative or difficult emotion, I want to stress that the identity, the person is not negative, or like you could do meanness, but meanness has a point of view. They have friends, they have a place they like to go on the weekend, they have things they care about, they're focused on things. Once I was doing this with a woman, and I can't remember what I always have a problem remembering the emotion. I remember all the character, but she like wore black leather and she went out at night, and she was like a protector in the dark of people walking around the streets in her black leather, and she was violent too. She had no problem like taking care, like getting rid of criminals. And when I asked like how does that, and it was like a pretty negative word, how does that empower you to know her? And she said, oh, she doesn't take any like wrongness or any bad attitude from people. She just is always like she might, I think it was bitch was the word. like it was an empowering thing for her to get to know that negative quality or emotion. So always you're working towards getting that emotion that the person is wanting to know, that they're on the same side of the fence. They're friends. There's some way that it cares and it's giving to the person. Sometimes it needs to grow up and evolve a little. But I like to often have in the story, oh, you find each other and you're friends. What do they say? What do they say that helps you? What do you say that helps them? So that there is a helping quality. Do you see how that stays in our general attitude of support and kindness? So even when working with something like anxiety or the feeling of being a bitch or frustration, it's still, as the character, it is there to help the main person. And that's what the story shows. So, and you saw how the way I brought it to that was just like, where could you be that you bump into each other? Oh, and you know each other. Oh, and they say something that helps you. What do they say? You're not coming up with the words. You're just asking those questions for the person. But it's okay if you don't get to that today. If you just imagine them as a character, and they're growing and evolving as that character. That's just as important.